Let's start building this out. We're on Elementor. We're going to go and select grid, and it doesn't really matter what I pick here. I'm just going to go with a grid that's got 2 containers. I'm going to add more in anyway. I've decided that I'm going to have like a grid of 4 by 3. So I'm going to set my columns to be 4 and I'm going to set my rows to be 3. I've set my width to be 1000 and my minimum height over here to be 700 as well. Now I've decided I'm going to have one item over here, one here, one here. So that's one. So one big one here, 2, 3, 4, and then 5 over here. So there'll be one that spans 2 rows and then one over here that spans 2 columns. So in total, I need 5 items. So from the get-go, I'm just going to quickly add in 5 containers. So I'm going to go and hit container, give it a background color, and I'm just going to drop in a heading. And then I'm going to duplicate that 4 more times. Excellent. And don't forget, because we are using containers, you could drop in whatever you want. So if you want to add an accordion into here or a post archive, you could do. Now let's going to go back over to WordPress. And you want to paste in this code snippet, and the link for this is in the video description. Again, big thanks to Mark Harrison. I've used this so many times because we're going to add a grid helper to our WordPress dashboard. Go and save changes and activate this. Then go to your WordPress sidebar and you'll see CSS grid helper. Go over there, and first thing you want to do is go and set your layout. So I know that I've got 3 rows and 4 columns, and look, it changes it for you. Oops, let me hit return. It changes it for you at the bottom. It's very versatile. If I was to change this to be 10 columns, it would then show me that layout there. So it's really cool. It's not like you have to sit there refreshing the screen or hitting save. So now I know that my very first item is actually going to be from row 1 to row 3, and it goes from column 1 to column 2. So I'm going to go and set that row 1 to row 3 and column 1 to column 2. And it's colored the area for me. My second one is just going to be this row, or row 1 and C3. So I'm now going to hit add block set. So block set number 2. This is going to be starting on row 1, ends on row 1, and it's going to start on column 3 and end on column 3. You hit it. Hit add block set, sorry. And look, it's now colored it. Now let's do the third one, which is going to be from row 1 to row 2. So we're going to go row 1 to row 2, and it's going to be on column 4, and it's going to end on column 4. And look, it's highlighted that. Now let's do this one over here, which is just one block, which is block set number 4. We are now on row 2, starts and ends on row 2, okay? And it's going to be column 3 and column 3 like that. And then we hit add block set, and it's now colored it. The final one, block set number 5, it's going to be on row 3, and it ends on row 3, but this time it starts on column 3 and ends on column 4. And when we do that, we've now got my layout, and you can see the colors there. And that's what I love about this. The way it visually guides and helps you out here, it's so cool. What I'm now going to do is just copy this code. And by the way, though, it does add in a little bit at the bottom down here. If it ever does that, because it's assuming there's going to be a block 6 and it's getting ready for that, you can get rid of that. But for now, I'm just going to copy the entire thing. I go back over to my page where I've got my grid. I'm going to click on the actual grid. So I don't click on the individual containers. I will do that in a moment, but I'm going to make sure I've clicked on the grid, go to the advanced, go to custom CSS and drop this in. Now, nothing will change at this moment. And I hope you can see why. It's because at the moment, it's just a selector. By the way, I'm just going to get rid of block number 6, like I mentioned. It doesn't know what to touch. So I'm going to keep it really simple. I'm just going to go with .c1, .c2, .c3, .c4, and .c5. Then I'm going to go to my individual containers. I'm going to go to the advanced tab, and I'm going to go and give them a class name. So C1, and you can see it instantly changes. C2, C3PO, not really, but hey, C4, and the final one is going to be C5. And there we go. We have our layout exactly as it was created or meant to be based on the grid helper or what our intentions were. I'm just going to tidy this up a little bit. I'm going to go over to my grid and I'm going to increase the height to make it more square-like. That's a bit better. Now you will notice we have this empty grid space over here, but don't worry about that extra container because when you get to view it on a live site, it's not there. The danger is that if you go to preview, you're going to see it and you're actually going to think, well, that's a problem. I don't like it. Go and view the page on a live site and it won't be there. Trust me on that. Because what you don't want to do is start stinking it. What you don't want to do is stick in another container or a spacer or something and you start to make it a 0 height because you're just adding in extra elements for no good reason. So even though on preview, you can see it, When you get to the live site, it won't be there. I hope using the CSS grid helper, we've done many videos on this before, seriously helps you out if you are working with grid and you want to get a particular layout. Hey, I'm Imran Web Squadron. I hope you like, subscribe, share, and follow. The code snippet, code link for this is in the video description. I'll see you soon.